Yeah. Hey, Lisa, how are you?
Hey, Carlton, how are you?
Yeah.
Staying
Thanks
safe?
for thanks for coming on with me here, so we get a chance to chat and catch up. As I understand, you're still with Exit Realty Beatrice Associates.
Yes, yes, I am.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Some crazy times here for sure.
Absolutely. Everybody's social distancing. I know for us in our industry, we are being very sensitive to adhering to the CDC guidelines, wearing masks. I know I have my hand sanitizer with me and my
Mm,
wipes. So,
yeah.
so we're good to go when we go out on showings.
Right. Right. That's great. How are your family doing? How's everybody? How are things on the home front?
Things are good. Thankfully, my family is able to work as part of the essential workers, so that's
Right.
fantastic for them. We're very blessed, and we can't wait for all of this to be lifted so everybody can finally go back, and small businesses obviously can, reopen as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's coming up pretty soon. The governor just put out his four-step plan to make that happen. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
all is well here. My son's an introvert. He's home alone. Well, he has a roommate, and he loves it. He doesn't have to talk to anybody. Nobody needs anything from him. He doesn't need to go out. Everything is delivered. Life is great for the introvert.
Yeah,
But you and I are extroverted,
exactly.
and we're like, oh, we need to be out. We need to be out and about, and talking to people and
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah. Um, okay, so I want to know a little bit more about your business. What are you doing these days? Which areas are you covering? Which towns?
Typically I pretty much cover the greater Boston metro north areas. So
Mm,
everywhere from Boston, Medford, Somerville,
mm.
all the way up to Methuen and Haverhill
Oh,
areas.
nice,
I'll
nice.
go where my clients need me to go.
Yeah. And what's the word out on the street about a recovery for the real estate sector? What does that look like? And is there any sort of time frame? What are people saying?
Well, it's kind of interesting. People or economists foresee possibly June maybe being the start of the time where people truly essentially need to put their homes on the market. I mean, there's always going to be someone who needs to relocate for business purposes, or maybe it's come to a time for empty nesters to downsize.
Mm,
So you never know, but probably around the June, July
right,
timeframe,
right.
we hope.
Um, yeah, yeah, definitely. And do you think that there's going to be any permanent changes in the way business is conducted? Masks, gloves. What sort of changes do you see coming up?
Oh gosh. Yeah, definitely. There's going to be a lot more social distancing. Just being careful and respectful of people's, boundaries. We're going to do the best we can. I know in the business, in terms of our quote unquote open houses, they're not. I don't know how they're going to be handled in the future as in the past. Typically, people would come when they can, leave when they want. But for the past couple of months, we've had to schedule private showings with 15-minute intervals per showing. So that's kind of how we've been doing it moving forward. It has to be scheduled for sure.
Oh, so a prospective buyer actually shows up at the house in their 15-minute time slots.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
is 15 minutes enough time to show a house?
About 15, 20. Yeah, it's actually, believe it or not, it is adequate. Normally in a perfect world, if a buyer, for example, really likes the property, they tend to stay longer and
Mm,
really envision themselves, their family, and their furniture placement, in the home. But yeah,
right.
we make it work. We have to.
Yeah. Has anybody asked you to like show a house via FaceTime or anything? You know, on your phone. You know, where you're walking around and you're holding your phone and
Yes.
showing somebody.
Actually, ironically, yes, I am working with a couple relocating from California.
Mm.
So I've had to utilize video, actually. I tried to do FaceTime, they weren't available, but
Okay.
video in order for them to get a true concept of what the property looked like, because it's challenging. I mean, they're all the way in
Right. Right.
California, they're moving across country. So they're very reliant upon me to give them as much information as possible so they can make the best decisions for themselves.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's great. And are you what sort of things are you doing in terms of helping out your buyers or sellers? How are you working with them?
Um, I mean, I try to provide them with as much information about the property as possible. As always, reviewing comparable homes
Yeah.
so they can see exactly how the market's faring. So basically right now in our current market, it's been strong for a few years now. It's been a
Mm,
seller's market, and we have to advise our clients accordingly. Of course, each property is different, but we have to come in close to list price, if not even over,
mm.
based on the competition that's out there. It's all about supply and demand. And if they don't come in with a strong offer and a good package that we present, they could essentially be outbid. So
Right.
we really have to do our homework.
Right. Right. Yeah. And that's a great way. I mean, you're on top of things, and you have a great sense of the pricing and the strategy.
Yeah.
Um, and uh, it's quite the task, for sure.
Yeah,
Um, can we talk for a minute about virtual tours?
absolutely. I love them.
As you know, I do virtual tours, and I've done some virtual tours for you. Thank you very
Yep.
much. Um, are there any statistics that you're aware of that say anything about homes that have virtual tours versus homes that aren't showing a virtual tour?
Well, I think I found something where NAR, or the National Association of Realtors,
Mm,
said that of the um, respondents who of the public who view homes online, about 89% of them value the photos.
right.
But and then when it comes to videos, again, this is pre-COVID, so about 50% felt that the videos, video tours were of value. But now again, uh, now the COVID's that we've been dealing with, COVID-19, everything is skyrocketed, because there's even properties that are on the market for sale where the sellers aren't as comfortable letting people come through their home, and
Mm,
therefore we even have to ask the buyers to submit an offer with a contingency to view it after the fact, and then
oh,
they negotiate factors. Yeah.
oh, wow. Well,
Yeah. So
that,
sight
that was
unseen, literally sight unseen, but
right.
relying heavily on a 3D virtual tour.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's really interesting that the buyer can uh, after they see the house make
mhm.
changes or take back their offer or something else. I mean
So, yeah,
that's like an example.
negotiate terms that back. I know it's backwards, but
Yeah, one of the new ways of doing business and how the industry is affected. That's
absolutely,
very interesting.
absolutely, it's very creative.
Yeah,
But
yeah. So for your listings, how do you decide if you want a virtual tour for a home? What are the
uh,
factors that
typic-
go into that?
typically, we want it to certainly present well. I try to work with my sellers in terms of staging the home. So for me personally, I do some accessorizing. I have various pieces, whether it be artwork, um, certain furniture pieces. If I need it on a larger scale, of course, I have a couple of home stagers who I work with.
Mm,
But I want to make sure that I present my sellers' homes in the best positive light possible.
right.
And those would be the ones that would be worthy of the virtual tours.
Mm,
Um, but regardless, I always advise my clients that, listen, we're trying to create a positive first impression, because the buyers, the minute they walk in the property, within the first 8 to 9 seconds, they're going to know if this is the right property for them. So whether they have a virtual tour or not, in professional pictures, I want to make sure that it presents positively.
yeah, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Mhm.
Um, and so when you already decided that you're going to do a virtual tour, um, well, how do you decide, what to look for in a photography service, or, in a virtual tour provider? I know this sounds like a shameless plug for myself, but
No.
generally, yeah.
Well,
What,
I mean, me personally, I've taken photography years ago in the past, so I understand the importance of light and angles. And when you and I met, I could see the talent that you've shown in the past. And I'm so grateful to have this business relationship and partnership with you. Whenever I can bring in bring you in to show off a property of mine, it's kudos to you, seriously. So we've worked together on a property, I believe, in West Peabody. We've done a condo in Billerica, and it just reflects so well, and it's very well received. I can't begin to tell you how many positive comments I get from the work that you do when there is a 3D virtual tour available. I mean, the people love the dollhouse effect that Matterport allows. They can just shoot to any room, zoom in those rooms, and really get a good concept of the condition of the home as well, even if they're not there. But it helps drive them to the showings, and it helps the property sell it 24/7. And I don't know what people are doing on the internet at 12 o'clock, midnight. I'm
yeah,
sleeping.
2 a.m., 3 a.m., insomnia, might as well look at virtual tours of homes.
Oh, yeah. So thank you so much for helping me in the past, and of course in the future.
Yeah. When you have these virtual tours, where do you promote them? Websites, social media, where are the good places to show people?
Yeah, I absolutely promote them on social media sites. Everything, whether it be, of course, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever I can get out there, I do that. I also do ads via like I said, ads via Facebook to get as much exposure through the internet as possible. And then, of course, we attach them into the multiple listing system.
Mm,
So people can click on the icon and see the virtual tour that way as well.
mm. Yeah, I can see, like, most of the time people want a virtual tour to, help a seller show off their home to prospective buyers. Are there other purposes or uses for a virtual tour that you can think of or come to mind?
Yes, actually, besides, of course, doing it for commercial businesses, when it comes to the residential side, it's really important to help create visual for potential sellers whom you're trying to list their homes and build their trust. So it's nice to have something that's been saved that we've done recently, so we can show them and demonstrate to that seller to say, listen, this is how we can portray your home. Let me, I hope you allow me to do that for you. Besides other strategies and marketing strategies that we at Exit can offer.
Yeah, that sounds great. Sounds great, Lisa. Um,
Hmm.
and I want to thank you again for spending a couple minutes with me on this Zoom call. This is very interesting. I haven't done this before. It's a really cool technology.
Yeah, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And again, I appreciate your talent and your skill. So I look forward to working with you again.
Yeah, same here as well. We'll catch up with you later, and take care and stay safe.
Yeah, you too. Take care of yourself. Bye.